On the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, it is no longer enough to offer ritual admiration because today his legacy is being actively distorted. In contemporary political discourse, there is a deliberate attempt to appropriate Netaji by creating a false binary, placing Bose and Patel together against Nehru and Gandhi. In truth, it was Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru who stood on one side, united by a certain internationalism, urgency and a radical vision of freedom, while Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel and the industrialist Mr. G.D. Birla stood on the other, advocating negotiation, restraint, gradualism. Netaji's relationship with Sardar Patel was not only ideologically distant but personally strained. Netaji was deeply close to Patel's elder brother Vittal Bhai, who believed in Subhash so profoundly that he attempted to leave a large part of his estate to him for nationalist work. Vallabh Bhai challenged this will in court. The legal battle continued for years, ended in Patel's favor and thus permanently damaging the equation with Netaji. In contrast, Netaji's bond with Nehru was marked by mutual admiration, trust, and this is well preserved in their letters, which reveal deep affection, intellectual kinship, and shared global vision. Equally inconvenient to modern myth-making is Netaji's relationship with Mahatma Gandhi. Both disagreed sharply with Gandhi's methods, yet his respect never diminished. It was Netaji who first called Gandhi the father of the nation, and throughout his life, he continued to wear the Gandhi cap, not as a submission of sorts, but as an acknowledgement. What is most urgently relevant today, however, are Netaji's unambiguous views on communal politics. He opposed Jinnah's two-nation theory, warning that religious nationalism would destroy India from within. He was equally critical of Mr. Savarkar's idea of a Hindu Rashtra, rejecting the notion that India could be defined by a single faith. Bose believed that communal venom, Hindu or Muslim, weakened the freedom struggle and served colonial interests. His actions matched his beliefs. When he formed the Azad Hind Fauj, he named its brigades after Gandhi, Nehru, Maulana Azad. The women's regiment honored the Rani of Jhansi. A regiment was later named after Netaji himself, not by his design, but after sustained insistence from his commanders, which he accepted reluctantly for unity and morale. Netaji did not fight to be simplified, weaponized or reduced to slogans. He fought for an India that was plural, fearless, secular in spirit and uncompromising in its opposition to communal hatred. That is why remembering Netaji today is not nostalgia, it is necessity. His ideas speak directly to our present, to a Bengal and to an India grappling with polarization, distortion and selective memory. Netaji must not only be remembered, he must be understood, reclaimed and drawn inspiration from as a moral compass of our times. Bengal remembers Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Do you?